Please welcome Tony Thompson.
The night is beautiful. So are my people. The stars are beautiful. So are the eyes of my people. Beautiful also is the sun. Beautiful also are the souls of my people. Words by Langston Hughes. Good afternoon. It is indeed a pleasure to be here with you today to talk about a subject that is near and dear to my heart during this Black History Month. I want to sincerely thank the Fort Lauderdale Historical Society for the invitation. Now, I've been here in Fort Lauderdale for 40 years, and I've met and talked with hundreds of people over the years, and I've listened to their various stories about their families and the entertaining history of the city. I've also done extensive research while writing 3 dramatic pieces on Black Fort Lauderdale and compiling a pictorial history entitled Our History is American History, an exploration of the history of African Americans in Broward County, Florida, with an accompanying short film for the African American Research Library and Cultural Center. As a member of the New Mount Olive Baptist Church for 40 years, and with us celebrating our 100th church anniversary this year, I choose the subject to talk about members of New Mount Olive Baptist Church as agents of change. Now, I'm sure that most of you here today are aware that Fort Lauderdale was incorporated in 1911 with a population of about 336 people at the time. Well, in 1918, when the Black population was approximately 445, 8 former members of Piney Grove's First Baptist Church had the audacity to found a new church in this small town where there were already 5 Black churches. There was Piney Grove First Baptist Church, founded in 1904, St. John Methodist Church, founded in 1904, Mount Hermon AME Church, founded in 1906, St. Christopher's Episcopal Church, founded in 1913, and St. Luke's Baptist Church, founded in 1917. It was not until 1925 that they completed their first wooden church building, which was then destroyed the very next year by a hurricane. Yet they built another church, and the congregation continued to grow. Although started by men and women ranging in age from 47 to 24 years old, with occupations which were truck drivers, farmers, and housewives, the reputation of the church soon became known as the Church of the Educated People. And today we have over 10,000 members from all walks of life. I would describe our members as God-loving, faithful, hardworking, dedicated, committed, resourceful, courageous, and fearless, because I am very aware that the experience of African Americans in America has always been a challenge. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." Well, we continue to meet those challenges. And we recognize that we have been assisted over the years by friends from other racial groups. Today, I want to focus on people from Mount Olive who've made significant contributions to this community and its development. The first person I want to list is Dr. Von D. Mizell, the oldest of a pioneer family, the Mizells, born in 1910, and who came here as a baby in arms to Fort Lauderdale in 1910 on the Flagler Railroad from Georgia. And they settled in Dania Beach area. His father, Isidore Mizell, worked for Mr. John Bryan as an overseer of his orange grove and was a carpenter who built the first colored school. He built the rooming house that his wife Minnie ran, and he built St. Ruth's Baptist Church, all in Dania Beach. Their 14 children were taught the importance of education, and they were sent, all of them, to college. Now, they did not all graduate, but they all went. Dr. Von D. Mizell was an excellent student as a child, and his father sent him to St. Augustine, Florida, to complete his high school diploma because schools here at the time only went to 6th grade. He earned his undergraduate degree from Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, and then went on to Meharry Medical College in Nashville, Tennessee, where he obtained a medical degree specializing in surgery and post-surgical procedures. After graduation, he returned here to Fort Lauderdale in 1937 and joined in the practice with Dr. James Sistrunk, the first black doctor to put up his shingles here and stay. He came here in 1924. And he dedicated his life to improving lifestyles of the colored community. He did not shy away from conflict at all, but was forceful and sometimes even combative. He had learned early as a child about the violence by whites against blacks when at 8 years old, he had watched a white lawman gun down a black dice thrower without provocation in his mother's rooming house. He also saw a young friend hanged for hassling police after being stopped in a stolen car, and a black Dania meat packer stabbed to death by his white co-workers who felt the man's hard work made them look bad. When the blacks in Broward County had no access to hospital facilities, with the help of members of the colored community, he and Dr. James Sistrunk opened Provident Hospital. That was in 1937, which continued to operate until the 1960s, when the white hospitals were finally integrated. However, the white hospitals required that the black doctors become members of the white-only Broward County Medical Association. Dr. Mizell and 4 other black doctors had to sue the medical association in order to gain memberships. Broward General Hospital then would not allow Dr. Mizell to practice there because they claimed that he was doing unnecessary surgeries. Well, Dr. Mizell then sued Broward General Hospital and won the case and was awarded $17 million. Now, he never did get any of the money, but he was able to practice there at the hospital. He founded the first civil rights organization, the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, in 1945. He registered as a Democrat in 1947 and ran for a seat on the Broward County School Board. In 1947, he led a march on City Hall that resulted in the hiring of Fort Lauderdale's first 2 black policemen. In 1949, he was one of the first 2 blacks to vote in a Fort Lauderdale municipal election. In 1961, it was his brainchild to stage the wade-ins that integrated the Fort Lauderdale beaches. Dr. Von D. Meisel's goal was always to improve the lives of people in America. He was a much sought-after surgeon around the nation and had a number of safe houses around the county where he would seek refuge when he often received death threats. And white doctors who were his friends often took care of his black patients during his absences. The next person is Margaret Blake Roach. Now, Margaret Blake was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee in 1911 and was a brilliant student who in 1926 in the 8th grade traveled to Atlanta, Georgia to attend Clark College's Laboratory High School. She was a graduate of Clark College, where she later became a member of the Board of Trustees for that institution. She arrived in Tampa, Florida in 1934 to teach at Middleton High School, and she married the principal, none other than Howard Blake. He was also a civil rights leader. But in 1954, she was widowed, and she moved to Fort Lauderdale and taught at Dillard High School, where she met and later married a widower, Cato Roach Jr., the president of the Florida State Teachers Association and a teacher in the Broward County school system in 1962. She joined the New Mount Olive Baptist Church, where her new husband was a member and a church trustee, and became very active. Mrs. Roach was described as a proud black woman, sure of herself long before black was beautiful. All her career, she was an educator, pioneer, power broker, and mentor who chose to work for change. She always believed that each individual has not only a right, but a responsibility to be a catalyst for excellence in all his efforts, but also to realize his talents in service to his community. Now, in 1974, she became the first black and first female member of the Broward County College Board of Trustees. In 1975, she was the founding president of the Broward County chapter of the National Urban League, which worked to implement programs for employment, economic development, housing, education, community development, health, and social welfare. She was also the founding president of the Fort Lauderdale chapter of Links Incorporated, a national African American women's organization with a threefold purpose: intercultural, civic, and social, which published a history book entitled Black Pioneers in Broward County, A Legacy Revealed in 1976. Our next lady is Wilhelmina Jakes, born in Hardeeville, South Carolina in 1929, but moved with her mother and siblings to West Palm Beach, Florida, after her father's untimely death, where she was raised. She attended FAMU to major in education, and while there was a senior, she and her close friend and roommate, Carrie Patterson, were arrested in 1956 for refusing to move to the back of the crowded Tallahassee city bus. Their courageous act sparked what was known as the Tallahassee bus boycott, which integrated the city's public transportation system. After graduating from FAMU in 1956, she went on to fulfill her professional aspiration as a Broward County public school teacher and a mentor for 33 years. And upon moving here, she became a dedicated member of the New Mount Olive Baptist Church, serving as a Sunday school teacher and as a member of the church's board of trustees. She was a lifetime member of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP, and an active member of the Northwest Federated Women's Club of Fort Lauderdale, which helped to supply Dillard School, which was called the Colored School before the school board, that's right, supplied them adequately. She also was a member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and the FAMU National Alumni Association. Our next Mount Olive member is W. George Allen, born in Sanford, Florida in 1936, where he graduated from Croons High School and then attended Florida A&M University and graduated with honors with a BA degree in political science and a minor in economics. He served in the U.S. Army for 2 years in the Counterintelligence Corps before he entered the University of Florida Law School, where he was the first black to graduate in 1962 with a Doctor of Jurisprudence degree, but gained admission by leaving blank the space on the application that asked about race. After passing the Florida bar examination in May of 1963, he started to work for the law firm of Orr and Kaplan in Miami, becoming the first black to work in an integrated law firm south of Washington, D.C. In November of 1963, he moved to Fort Lauderdale, where he joined the New Mount Olive Baptist Church and entered private practice with Al C. Hastings, and where he represented the NAACP of Broward County in various cases, including Allen versus the Broward School Board. This 1970 case resulted in the integration of the entire public school system here in Broward County. By 1976, Mr. Allen had served as commissioner for the Florida Ethics Commission, the Florida Human Relations Commission, member of the Florida Advisory Commission, the U.S. Civil Rights Commission, and member of the Governor's Property Rights Study Commission. He became the first black lawyer to head a county bar association in Florida, but had to threaten to sue his fellow lawyers to gain admission to the Broward County Bar Association in 1964. And he served his term as their president in 1988. And I think you can see the thread through all of their lives was that they had a lifetime commitment to public service. There were two other things that I wanted to mention about Mount Olive. In 1971, Mount Olive formed the new Mount Olive, Gardens Apartments. And that was a 60-unit project funded by HUD. They got a $1 million contract and a 40-year mortgage. Those apartments are still of service to the community today, and they are off of Sistrunk Boulevard. And they have from 2 to 4 bedroom units, and so they serve low-income community members, yes. The other project that Mount Olive took on under Dr. Matt King Carter's pastorship, he wrote a book entitled A Quest for Freedom, and it talked about the black community should be revitalized by the church. And so they founded a nonprofit organization in the 1980s called Mount Olive Development Corporation. It's currently being directed by CEO Dr. Rosalind Osgood. And it has all sorts of services for people in the community, not only church members, but people of the community. It had one of the first living facilities for people living with AIDS. It also has a training program for returning prisoners to retrain them and to reinstitute them into the public workforce. They have a first-time home buyers group. So they have all sorts of committees and organizations which help people in our community. We also built a 4,000 square foot building, which is called the Dr. Matt King Carter Training Center, which is on Sistrunk Boulevard. And it also has a temporary housing for prisoners who've just been released. So we do all of this to help our community. And that's the end of my presentation. I hope that you've learned something, and I want to thank you all for coming out. Any questions? If you have any questions, I will try to. Yes.
I have a quick one. I didn't realize with the legal, I knew George Allen was the first graduate from the University of Florida, African American. But Sylvia Aldrich sent her son to what's the law school in D.C. he went to? Howard yes. University. And I spoke with him on the phone. We were doing that the vignette on Sylvia. She's an amazing woman. But he would not return to Florida when he finished at Howard. He stayed and practiced in Washington, D.C. And never came this far south again. So right. He didn't say anything on the phone, and I didn't know. So he would not have been able to practice then in the 50s.
Right.
Is that probably one of the reasons he stayed in D.C.?
Probably so, and then he also was aware of the brick wall he would probably run into, trying to not only open an office or either trying to join another law firm. Yeah, because as you heard, George Allen was the first black lawyer to be hired.
And that was 62 then?
That was in
So
1962.
Mr. Aldrich would have been older than that, so he...
Yes.
Oh, wow. I just
Is he still alive? How old is he?
When we spoke with him on the phone, that was my first year here, so I'm here 3 years. He was in his mid-70s. He had just retired,
Oh.
but he's still up in D.C.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he was her adopted son.
Right, from that, and that whole Providence Hospital story with she and Ivy, and then after that horrible truck accident.
Yes.
His parents had been killed.
Right.
Oh,
His parents were in that truck accident?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I know that that Mrs. Aldrich rushed to the scene,
Yeah.
and she saw what she's talking about, that there was a truck accident where a load of farm workers were involved, and there was both races. They took the white workers into the hospital and left the black workers on the lawn to die, and some of them died. And that's what was a force in starting the black community decide that they were going to build their own hospital. Yeah, so Providence Hospital came after that, shortly after
And
that.
he was a toddler.
1960.
His
1930.
parents had been in that accident. He was 2 or 3.
Oh,
And
was
that's-
it? So
and
he was
that's-
in an accident also?
Well, no, I think he was
Oh.
care of somebody, so then she
Oh.
adopted him.
Oh.
Because both parents.
Oh, that's
had-
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I have her as one of the characters in my play, and I tell that story of how she rushed to the scene,
Yeah.
but I never heard that the son that she adopted was the child of some of the farm workers on that truck. Okay, that's great. I've written 3 plays about the early black history of Florida. One called Mangoes, Guavas, and Mullet, because I used to say that nobody in Fort Lauderdale should ever grow hungry because there was always mango, guava, and mullet, which was plentiful. The other one was, Just Us, from bean pickers to presidents, and it dealt with 6 black historical characters here in Fort Lauderdale. And so one of those characters was John H. Hill, the first black millionaire, Sylvia Hill Aldrich, who came here in 1904, and she had an employment agency. And then there was, it ended with Dr. Niara Sadakasa, who grew up here. Her parents were from the Bahamas, and she was grew up here and went to Dillard, the first colored school, and at the age of 15, she got a Ford Foundation scholarship to Fisk University. She went on after that and got her master's and PhD in anthropology from Columbia University, and she became the very first black female president of Lincoln University, the first black university here in the United States. So she retired from there about 15 years ago and moved back here, where she told me, I just saw her Thursday. She's turning 80. She's turning 80 in August, but her health is starting to deteriorate. And she's a member of Mount Olive Baptist Church too. So I guess there is reason to say that Mount Olive was the church of educated people. But, any other questions?
I have a question. It's not related specifically to Mount Olive, but it appears to me that Mount Olive was a catalyst in the development of the Sistrum corridor.
Of course, yes.
How do you see its role in the changing development of the Sistrum corridor?
Well, now, in fact, we bought up all the property we could. So that area from along Power Line Road, which is 9th Avenue, Northwest 9th Avenue, from 2nd Street all the way just about to Sistrum, we own. So we own most of that property in there. And of course, we're planning on expanding our church. Oh, I forgot to, that's what our new church is gonna look like.
Wow.
It's gonna be that entire,
It's the old
Wow.
school.
So that's a different plot of ground from the current church then?
well, the current church, what they're gonna do, current church ends right here. So all of this is new, coming all the way to that street, which is. Well, they're gonna turn the old church, into a family life center. So there's gonna be a basketball court and all that kind of stuff over there. And then, so hopefully, they're supposed, along this area, they're gonna have a gallery. So the pictorial exhibit I'm doing that's gonna be displayed here in August, will then go up there permanently in the lobby of the church.
That's beautiful. Is it groundbreaking soon, or what is it?
Yes, they are currently trying to decide on the contractor. Yeah, so they're ready to start. Alrighty, well, if there's no other questions, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.